Hi data aspirants, welcome back to my channel. Today our topic is principles of development. So this is the continuation of the part 1 of growth, development and maturation. Those who haven't watched the video, you can go back to the part 1 and watch and come back to here. The link is provided in the description. Now let us talk about the today's topic. You can see here principles of development. So once we revise, what does development mean? The moral, the cognitive, the social, and the emotional change in the behavior of a person is called as development. It involves some set of principles. For example, we will start from our first principle. Development follows uniform pattern. Development takes place in a child in a systematic way. For example, in a language learning, a child, when he was born, he initially starts with bubbling and gurgling sounds. Later, he tries to learn the words, and the words will be changed into sentences. In the same manner, a child who supposed to do additions, subtractions, and divisions, initially the child must have the awareness of numbers. From numbers, they go to the complexity. So, development does not happen all of a sudden. Even if you take any language learning, first we follow a sequence of steps such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing. After that itself, we try to learn a new language. So, the first principle of development is development follows sequential or a uniform pattern. Now, individual differences occurs in development. Now, aspirants, see, we will do it with an example. Suppose if you take a class, in a class, there are many students who are different in their intelligence. There are students who are having the above average intelligence, and there are also students who are having the below average intelligence. Even a twins who are studying in the same class do not have the same level of intelligence. So the development varies. No two-person will have the similar level of development. That is the second principle of development. Now, let us look at the third principle. Based on the heredity and environment. What is based on the heredity and environment development? A development is usually depends or based on heredity. For example, let us take a child whose parents are singers. Now, the child acquires the innate ability of singing, but if he is supported properly by the parents in a positive environment, then he could utilize the chance and he can also become a good singer. So here we can tell that heredity and environment is influencing the development of a child. Simple. This is the third principle of development. Now, the fourth principle. Development happens in a two-directional trend. What do you mean by two-directional? Development, if you observe, it usually takes place as cephalopodal development and proximal distal development. Cephalopodal development. Cephalopodal development is nothing but a child body gains the development beginning from the head to the toy. That means that a child initially gains the control on the head, then arms, then legs, toy. This is, as it is calling from head to toy, we call it as cephalopodal development. In the same manner, there is another development that usually seen in the children, that is proximal distal development. proximal distal development means the development begins from the middle part of the body and it spreads throughout the body. Initially, they gain the control over the spinal cord and later arms and etc. So this is the fourth principle of the development. Now, the last principle of today's class is the development is predictable. We can judge the development. For an example, a child who is pursuing first class, he is very good at studies. We can predict him that he is going to secure a very good rank in the coming classes also, depending upon his intelligence. In the same manner, a child who is studying in the same class, who is very good at sports, we can predict his development in the field of sports. In the same way, a child who is very good at singing, we can predict his intelligence in the singing. This altogether tells that a teacher plays very important role in developing a child by giving their proper support. If a teacher could analyze the skill of a student, then she can predict the future of the child. If a teacher could understand the innate ability of the child, if they provide the proper support to the child, then he could withhold his career. His career could brighten up. So, my TET aspirants, as we are going to be the future teachers, we need to understand the psychology of the children. Whatever I told you here, these are the principles of overall. But you're supposed to understand how we need to apply them in a daily life. The question may be asked from any end of the corner. Most of the questions, if you see, they are giving in an application based rather than subjective factual. Suppose we will start framing the 2 or 3 questions. For example, the twins who are studying in 8th class, the baby boy was more intelligent than compared to the baby girl. This comes among one of the principle of development. You can answer very easily, as I already told you. That is development. Individual difference occurs in development. No, one more question. A child, as a part of language learning, he first started listening to the language. This comes under which principle of development? That is, development follows a uniform pattern. Now, a child controlled his head initially, later he got his control over the toy.